all my questions have been asked already. I wanted to be first.
Get out.
The last time I was in the hot seat was 4 months ago in San Antonio. And I was the one who, you said, kind of doubted the universe. And at some point, I would want to put aside my doubt, and then everything in my vibrational escrow would come to me. I've seen some things. I've seen some miracles in my life in the last 4 months. And I wanted to ask you if what I saw was real, because it was amazing. My 2 boys are very good about being able to manifest things into their lives. Small things, especially things that are lost. My son lost a folder for school, and we couldn't find it. For about 24 hours, we couldn't find it. And then he got sick. He stayed home. He was sitting on the couch. I had the Bose stereo system right next to him. And it was literally like a foot away from him. And I thought, wow, this will be a cool time to let him hear me speaking to you on the CD, on the Abraham CD. So I put the CD in, and I turned for a brief moment, right? And he says to me, Dad. And I look, and the folder was right there between the stereo system and him. And he said, how did this get here? And I was like, I don't know. And he's like, did you put it here? And I said, no. Did you put it there? No. So it literally appeared out of nowhere. We have had things like that happen in our house, but I thought it was because of my mom. She croaked 6 years ago. And she's done a lot of things for my kids, but this was different because it answered my question, which is, do things get moved into place, or can they just manifest out of the clear blue sky? And then I hear things like these spiritual gurus or teachers on the law of attraction, like on the Oprah Winfrey show, where they say, you cannot just go into your room and meditate and expect things to just appear out of nowhere. They'll come and they'll take your furniture away. And so my question is...
If you meditate on that long enough, they probably will.
Exactly. So my question is, what happened there? Was it real? Did it really happen? Because my son and I saw it happen before so we know that it's real. I just wanted to confirm it with you. Why is everyone laughing about that?
Well, because you contradicted yourself. You said,
okay.
I know that it's real. I know that it really happened, but I need confirmation, which means I don't really know. I want to know. I hope to know. I would like to know, and it's all right. That's how you come to know. Words don't teach. It is only through life experience that you learn, that you come to know. So you've provided a wonderful basis for a lot of things that we think those who are wanting to understand the laws of the universe and the power of your own creation will benefit from. We want to start in a very basic place by saying to you that anything that you have identified that you desire, you have the ability to bring it about. And if you will let go of trying to dictate the way through which it comes. What goes wrong with most people when they say, I want such and such, I want to find the folder, or I want whatever it is.
Right.
What goes wrong with most people is that they say, I want it, but I don't know how it will come, when it will come, where it will come from, who will bring it. And since they don't know the answers to those questions, and those questions are pulsing very strong within them, then those questions cause them to activate a vibration that keeps them from discovering what they're looking for. Esther has had so many experiences where she's looking for something. The thing that comes up the most often is, I've lost my beautiful pen. I've lost my beautiful pen. And for the time that that's active in her vibration, it could be right under her nose and she could not see it. And this is the thing that we really want you to hear. What you see is a translation of vibration. What you see with your eyes is a translation of vibration. That's why you see. What you hear is a translation of vibration. So while you're seeing with your eyes, if you have this very active vibration within you that says something is lost, and it is a powerful enough vibration within you that you would call it a belief, it's dominating the vibration of your being, that dominant vibration will keep your eyes from seeing something that is there.
Well, I've heard you say that before, and I understand that completely. And I agree, it makes sense, totally makes sense to me. My feelings were going to be really hurt if you didn't call me back up here.
You think you're talking to your mother?
She's here now, you know. The Oprah show. And others. I'm hearing on the radio law of attraction. It's just spreading like wildfire from what I see. And that's wonderful. It's terrific. And I'm wondering, where is this going to? Because in an ideal situation, if everybody on earth believed in the law of attraction and in the power that we all have, there would be no need to steal. There would be no need for police departments. There would be no need for worrying about getting sued.
There's another piece that needs to come into place. Now, law of attraction has been around for a very long time. In other words, it isn't easy to keep law of attraction a secret any more than you could keep gravity a secret.
Right.
In other words, it is happening. So let's take your premise that everybody learns about law of attraction. And we agree with you. We think that is a wonderful thing. But there's another piece that we really are enthusiastically anticipating coming into place too. And that is an understanding that it's all right for others to utilize law of attraction to attract whatever it is that they are wanting. In other words, you're right. If everyone understood that this is a powerful universe and that everyone can get what they want, then there would be no attention to shortage. No one would be feeling competitive. There would not be a sense of lack or loss. Everyone would just focus upon what life has caused them to want and line up with it, and you are absolutely right. The universe would yield to every single person. But that's happening now anyway.
Right.
We do not see the problems of your planet because people are not understanding law of attraction. The problems of your planet are because people are pushing against the things that others believe that it's right to want. What we're looking forward to, the awakening that is really evident and coming, is when individuals come to an awareness that they are the creator of their experience and that the universe is yielding to them, and that in all of this diversity there is value, because out of the variety you are able to choose what you want, and once you have chosen what you want, then you're wanting to give your undivided attention to what you want. And it is then that you will find people living harmoniously among one another.
Right. I was a Jehovah's Witness for 20 years, and we used to, preach from door to door about the good news of the kingdom and how there would be this paradise earth at some point. And that was my whole desire, my whole life, was to find that.
But you see, here's where we differ from what your premise is with this. And you can get this right now, and when you do, you're going to feel as wonderful as we do. Yeah. And that is that paradise is already here.
I understand.
In other words, most people really think that the paradise on earth is when everyone comes to agreement. There will never be a time when everyone will come to an agreement, and if that could be, then motion forward would cease. We want you to understand that it is your diversity that causes you to have a platform from which to want, and it is that desire that causes the expansion.
Right.
You see.
So that's what I'm in total agreement with that. You took the words out of my mouth.
But hear us, because this is really important and we don't think you're quite there yet. So we're just going to hammer it home a little bit more.
Okay.
And that is, when we say the paradise is now, we mean in that you have to be able to look at someone who wants something that you don't want or is doing something that you don't want. And you have to understand that your happiness does not depend upon making them stop it. Your happiness is not dependent upon what anybody else does. And in the premise of your statement, it still sounds like that matters. In other words, whenever you say, oh, something's going to sweep the earth and it's going to change the earth and it's going to make the earth better, then you're still living that conditional love that gets you nowhere. You have to accept that the paradise is now and that the diversity is part of the paradise, and from it you choose what you want and you give your undivided attention to it, and law of attraction gives to you whatever it is you are asking for. But you stay out of the game of trying to decide what's right for anybody else to want.
Right.
That's paradise.
Right. So in other words, I can live in my own paradise. I don't have to lock my car. I don't have to lock the doors to my house. I can just trust everybody.
That's right, but most of those statements took you right out of your paradise.
Okay.
In other words, when you are living your paradise, you may not be locking your car, but you're not talking about not locking your car. Your well-being is just so pervasive in your experience that it just doesn't occur to you that you need to lock your car. And then someone else who is locking their car can't come into your experience with any sort of vitality or emphasis because you're so in the paradise of well-being that you don't even attract those that are worried about you not locking your car into your experience, you see.
Okay.
In other words, when you find the place of alignment, and this is the beautiful thing about all of this, you do it one experience at a time, one thought at a time. You just keep molding yourself into. So someone breaks into your car, and oh, what an inconvenience that is. And in the middle of all of that, you launch rockets of desires of wanting well-being and wanting people to mind their own business and wanting your things to stay in your experience if you want them to. In other words, a myriad of things go through your mind as you shore up this thing that you want. And the thing that we want you to hear is that having had that experience, now the broader part of you is living more securely and more safely than ever before because of that uncomfortable experience you had. But every time you turn your attention to needing to lock the car, you turn away from the well-being that is waiting for you, that is even more enhanced as a result of the life that you were living about it. You see. Right. And so this is the tricky thing about trying to create an overall paradise on earth. When you start talking about anything that's going to happen worldwide, you get far too interested in what everybody else is doing.
Exactly.
And then think about it. If your goal is for there to be peace on earth, don't those warring people irritate you? Because they're violating your dream. When you want love and well-being for everyone, doesn't it hurt you when you see someone not living it? And then you get into the same trap the rest of them do. You need to change the conditions because, after all, you're not living the dream I have for life on planet Earth. And we say, oh, it is so delicious when your dream is alignment. When you get in sync with the intentions you came forth, when you say, the variety will cause me to want, and I'll align my thoughts with what I want, and I will not worry about what anybody else thinks about what I want. I won't use their opinion of what I want as my excuse to get crossways from what I want. Instead, I will focus upon what I want, and in focusing on what I want, I come into complete alignment with what I want, so what I want I get. What a wonderful world you'll be living. And then you say, but I'm in the world, and now people are seeing me getting what I want, and they have opinions about what I wanted and how I went about getting it. And we say, now you're not minding your own business. Now you're worrying about what they think about what you're doing, and now you're not living in your paradise, right. You see. You're never going to get there until you say, it does not matter to me about what you think nearly as much as it matters to me about how I feel. And the more I disregard what you think, the better I feel, and the more in alignment I am with what my life has caused me to create, you see. And your planet is coming round to that, but it is so far from understanding that. And we want you to say, it doesn't matter that it's far from that understanding, because I'm gaining that understanding. That is the secret. Right.
That's great. Thank you so much for that.
We can smell the tar brewing and the feathers are being plucked.
I can take a hint. One more question? Okay, you've said before that it only takes 30 days to be doing whatever you want. Okay.
It only takes a second to come into alignment with what you want. But what we are saying is, within 30 days is a reasonable amount of time for you to give enough thought to what you want that you've figured out what the downstream direction is. If you really want something within 30 days, you surely can think it out, chew it over, talk it over, feel it, till you get the feeling of where the downstream thought is. Okay. And then as you focus on that downstream thought, practicing it more every day, within 30 days, surely anyone could become a vibrational match to anything that they want. And when you're a vibrational match to anything that you want, it happens instantaneously, as if it came out of nowhere, as if it was there all along, but we just couldn't see it.